All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael Music. Thank you for tuning in today. And I'm talking right now about Think and Grow Rich. Okay, I'm going through this book. I think it's either my third or fourth time going through it, probably my third. And I wanted to chat about the conversation yesterday. We talked about, how to develop faith, right? And so, kind of in that same chapter, right, there's this really important idea, and it's around self confidence. Because whatever it is that you are going to do, whatever it is that you decide to do, the only thing that you are lacking in this very moment is self confidence in yourself that you can do it and that you can do it consistently. Okay. No matter what your goal is, you're going to need the confidence to go after it. Right. And for most people, when you set a big goal, is probably something that is different than what the masses want. So not only do you need confidence in yourself to go after it, you're going to need confidence to stand by your decision, that you're not following the masses, and you're not following everybody else. Okay, so self confidence is really such a critical component to, mastering this book, mastering success, actually being happy and getting, whatever it is that you truly desire. Okay, so that is the conversation that I hope, I we can have a great dialogue today about that. Now, I'll jump right into it. So this was something I was talking about yesterday, but for those of you watching this now, I want you to understand that self confidence is built through the law of autosuggestion. Okay, this is something that we'll go through again when we get to the next chapter, which is all about autosuggestion. But this is repetition of thought to the subconscious mind. Okay, so where you are right now, you probably are not feeling too confident, unless you are in that certain percentile that you already are on your way. But if you're just getting started, right, you probably aren't feeling too confident in the possibility of it being done. Right, I want you to know that if someone else has done it before you, right, it's possible. But you're probably wondering, okay, now I get that other people have done what I want, I get that it's possible, but can I do it? Okay. And now we're talking still under the conversation of faith, right? You got to truly believe in yourself if you are actually going to take action on it. Now, back to self confidence. This is created through the law of auto suggestion. So that is constantly repeating the goal of what you want. All right. Napoleon Hill says in this section that any idea, plan, or purpose that it may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. Okay, through repetition. That's how you do it. You do constant spaced repetition of thought, right? You're gonna write down, your goals every day, and you may not believe them at first, but through constant spaced repetition of this, you will start to truly believe in yourself, right? Me right now, I'll just tell you personally, like when I was talking about thinking Grow Rich, right? My first time going through, right? I had so many limiting beliefs. I'm a 23-year-old kid. Do I have any right to teach Think and Grow Rich, even have a conversation about it? Something that Napoleon Hill spent 25 of his years creating without any pay, right? Who am I to talk about this, right? This was my thoughts, right? Now I'm at a point going through this book a third time where it becomes easier to talk about, and I feel more confident in myself just to talk about it simply because I'm doing the repetition of thoughts. Okay, so that is the key right there. All right, so what does he say? Okay, so essentially there is a self-confidence formula that we're going to talk about, and he says that if you really want to apply the principle of auto-suggestion, it's simply by repeating the self-confidence formula. And I'm not saying for me personally, I follow this formula to the T, right? I have my own version of this stuff that I repeat, and I could be repeating more, but that's what I want to talk about, right? So I'm going to go through the self confidence formula that he puts in this book, and then we'll have a conversation about that. Right? He says, first, So this is the self-confidence formula that I suggest you read and you write down and create your own. Right. So here's an example, right? First, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment. And I here and now promise to render such action. Okay. Second, I realize that the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. All right. So that's second. I'll keep reading through it and we'll talk about it at the end, right? Third, I know that through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self confidence. All right. 10 minutes a day, I will commit to developing self confidence. Fourth, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self confidence for its attainment. Fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction that does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. Sixth, finally, I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it out loud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I will become a self reliant and successful person. All right. So that's the self confidence formula. Instead of listening to me talk about it, I'd highly recommend you get the book, read it for yourself. But let's break it down. Right. Number one, right? you know, Number one is I know I have the ability to achieve my definite chief aim in life, right? I know that I have a purpose for being here and I have the ability to achieve it. Okay. I'm able to achieve it, right? I promise to render continuous, persistent action towards that chief aim. Second, he says that I realize, what's going on in my mind will eventually reproduce itself in the outward world, right? You got to realize that the key to all this, the key to everything that he's talking about starts with our thoughts, right? Our outer world is literally created by our inner world, right? Have you ever convinced yourself that things were going to crap and it was all because of something you made up in your mind? And maybe there was a party that you were going to and you thought, it was going to be um just a terrible experience. So in your mind you're working yourself up and you show up to the party and realize it was nothing like what you really were imagining. But what you were imagining was your reality. So you got to realize that your dominating thoughts create your outer world. So if we can truly, plant the seeds properly into our subconscious mind, we can control our outer world by thinking. Right? That's the whole purpose of this book, right? So, the action step is I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become. Right, right. Who do I intend to become? Is the person that's a millionaire version of myself? that's a multi-millionaire version of myself, is that person the same individual as I am now? No, that person is a more elevated conscious individual. So, if I can sit in this feeling of really feeling like the person that I intend to become, right? What does that do right now? Right? I can change, literally in this moment, just by concentrating and following this for 30 minutes a day. I can literally change my energetic vibration and therefore actually become that person much sooner, right? I have the ability to control this. All right. Now, third, he talks about the principle of autosuggestion, and the action step here is to devote 10 minutes daily to developing self-confidence. All right. This is so critical. Having self-confidence, no matter what it is that you want, having self-confidence is the key. Right? Truly believing in yourself, because maybe you're going against the crowd. Maybe you're going against what the masses tell you to do. Everyone tells you to go to school and get a job, right? Maybe what you want is something like starting your own business, starting your own company, starting your own brand, right? That's going to be a risk, but you're believing in yourself, and all you need is self-confidence. So he says to devote 10 minutes daily to developing self-confidence. All right. Fourth, have you actually written down your definite chief aim in life? All right. And are you going to continuously try until you get it? Right. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. I'll tell you this, for example, right? I've started multiple businesses that have failed already. I'm only 23 and I've started multiple projects that have failed. Now, am I mad about that? No, because I've been knocked down. I got back up, and I'm going to keep on going until I achieve my definite chief aim in life. All right. So, at the end of this video, I really want you to sign your name to this self-confidence formula. Read the book yourself, write it down, copy it how you want it to be, and commit, right now, that you will repeat it out loud once a day. Right, once a day. And the secret here is it's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. Right? Can you repeat this out loud to yourself once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence your thoughts and actions so that you become a self-reliant and successful person? Okay? So that is the self-confidence formula. Now, I want to take a second and just explain again, why does this work, right? Why does this instruction, why is it actually going to work, right? It sounds like, abstract work, writing down a self-confidence formula and repeating it every day, right? Because the reason is what backs up this formula is the law of auto suggestion, right? Napoleon Hill in Thinking Over Rich, he actually says that this is the keystone arch to the entire philosophy, which is the law of autosuggestion, right? He even mentions, we'll talk about this in the next chapter when we get to it. He even mentions in that chapter that all other principles are just factors of which to apply the law of autosuggestion. Okay? Now think about this. There's two ways to use this law of autosuggestion. And what I'm giving you right here is the positive way to use it, right? To plant, a definite chief aim into your subconscious mind so that you actually start achieving that chief aim. Now, there's also the reversal, right? The subconscious mind, he says, will translate into reality a thought of fear just as readily as it will translate into a thought driven by courage or faith. Let me repeat that, right? The subconscious mind will translate into reality a thought driven by fear just as readily as a thought driven by courage or faith. Okay? So, at the end of the day, your subconscious mind is going to create your outer reality based upon your thoughts, right? So if you're thinking a ton of negative thoughts, right, your world outside of you that your subconscious mind will create is going to be negative, right? I was actually talking to my mentor the other day, and he said there's positive thoughts and then there's everything else. What does that mean, right? You can either plant the positive seeds or you can deal with all the other BS that the world is dealing with, right? There is a way that you can. I promise you, there is a way. I didn't believe this when I first started this journey of reading this book, but I promise you there is a way that you can control your own mind and therefore get everything that you want by using it properly. There is a way. And you seriously do got to just start taking these principles seriously if you really want to do so, because we're talking about, the law of auto suggestion, which is probably the reason you're either winning or losing, right? It's the reason that I'm winning or losing. So let's see. That is the conversation for today. All right. I hope you got value, right? I went through, the self-confidence formula as well as why this formula works. It's because of the law of auto suggestion. Tomorrow, I'm gonna actually tomorrow Saturday, on Monday next week, I'm gonna be diving deep into the chapter on auto suggestion, which is a packed chapter, right? There's really no room for fluff in that chapter. You know, it is intentful that way because that is the keystone arch to this philosophy. So I'm really excited to get into that. But, what I hope you took away from this is that, you can do anything that you want. You're just going to really need the self-confidence to do that, right? And how do you develop that self-confidence is through constant spaced repetition of thinking about what you want, right? Actually writing down your goal and repeating it to yourself until you believe it, right? That is how you develop faith. That is how you develop self-confidence. Okay, it's constant spaced repetition of thought. So thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate you tuning in to this live today. And I'll catch you on the next episode. I'll leave you with this. Until we meet again in time and space. Bye, everybody, for now.